Drinking wine on the internet. Do you want Oregon Pinot or do you want the bird?
Oregon Pinot.
Right. Feeling good, feeling great.
Start it out. Are you ready?
Ready? Ready. Hey Internet, I'm Chaz.
And I'm Dan. Welcome to Wine is Serious Business, episode 217.
I'm glad you looked.
We're here today with some 2012 Pinot Noirs. These are the releases from Ken Wright, always on the leading edge of the vintage releases. Always single vineyard, especially for stuff at this price point, right? You know, what are the full size ones now?
They come in between
50-ish?
45 and 55,
Yeah, they're right
depending
in
on
that
where you buy.
neighborhood. But anyway, like definitely getting into the premium price points and on the leading edge of those every year for sure.
Regardless of that, like you can kind of look at his entire portfolio, and it definitely shows the vintage.
Yeah.
So at least for Ken Wright wines, and we check in on these every year, right? Like this is something we do pretty much every year. So
And that's a huge part of it, right? Like he definitely.
should I start?
Sure. Yeah. For start, has his stylistic tendencies and due to that, right? Like the way the vintage is reflected in the wines is noticeable. And if you've been watching our show for a while, you've seen that. So since we've been doing them regularly this year, we tried to do something different. We all had some miscommunications, ended up with more bottles than we expected. We're going to do 5 single blind, try and guess what vineyard they come from.
Oh Jesus Christ! I'm never going to be able to guess what vineyards these come from.
No, but I bet some of them, because some of them are pretty distinctly different. So
Totally. And then another cool side of this is that we get to taste these blind. We're probably going to come up with some we really like. So
Yeah.
we'll tell you those blindly.
we do have some attachments to these vineyards, so it's
Yeah,
good to get outside of that.
Exactly. There's a couple of these vineyards I really like. So did you already name off the vineyards
I
we're doing?
didn't, no.
So we're doing the Guadalupe, the McCrone, the Nysa, or Nysa, the Canary Hill, and the Shea today. So
Yep.
this is...
So some big names, some less known names, good history with both.
Yeah,
This is the first
big
one.
history with both. Yep. So big dark color. So
I love the nose. Yeah.
Definitely more fruit driven on the nose.
But good, kind of like a little bit of just like Pinot Noir, little earthy component going in there, a little bit of tartness, like an edge of cranberry.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is definitely sticking out as more like tart raspberry, tart cranberry to me, right? Like kind of that sort of fruit characteristic.
A little bit of nutmeg too, I think.
Boy, great texture. Wonderful.
Yeah, I agree. Boy, light, friendly, little bit of that nutmeg comes through, but that like crisp acidic fruit like definitely shows, man, which I would not have guessed from a 2012 wine. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah, this is definitely a little leaner in fruit characteristic and in the way that the structure approaches you. Pomegranate, cranberry, like you were saying, definitely some sour cherry in there, some raspberry, but overall, definitely like more focused on the fruit to me than really else. Like there was a little bit of earthiness on the nose. I'm not getting hardly any of it on the palate, but again, the structure here is very, very nice. It's not, I wouldn't say entirely balanced. It's just a little bit below the fruit, but very nice.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of like that. I like that pomegranate because I'm getting a little bit of that white pomegranate skin and the seed, like just a touch of bitterness, light, kind of representing the structure. I think that helps with the lighter tannic touch to it. Like it works pretty well together. This is drinkable. This is drinking well right now, I think.
Right.
Which is not something I'm going to be expecting out of a lot of 12, so that's fun to see.
No, yeah, I think 12. There's going to be a lot of ripe wines possibly this vintage. At least that's the way I've heard from a lot of people. A lot of big fruit came in, a lot of dark fruit. But this one's drinking surprisingly. I like the way it's coming across. So,
Yeah.
88-ish, 89 points.
89 clean.
Yeah,
for me.
89 for me. Yeah.
Push it more. I like a little more complexity. I'm a little sensitive to that bitterness tonight, I guess. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Tonight I'm feeling a little more, but definitely like enjoyable flavors. Whatever this turns out to be, if you're looking for one to drink right off the shelf, I'm happy recommending this right away.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah, we're gonna blast through these. We're probably gonna talk a little fast.
Yeah,
because
have some
five
ugly
ones.
cuts. Some ugly cuts.
Light structure. What would you think this is? Can we make an early
The
guess?
first one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Canary Hill just because some of those had
That's
other
exactly
white
what I was
ones.
gonna
'Cause
guess, actually,
I think that's an Eola Amity vineyard.
Yeah.
We'll verify that and
Just from past experiences with Canary Hill, I've had leaner wines from them. So that's my only.
And last year, I remember it being ready to drink right out of the gate too. So
Oh.
that's contributed to my thoughts as well.
This is the one thing that's going to suck is we're going to be able to figure out which wine's the Nysa based on the cup, the temperature.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
all
way
right.
around it, but
Let me pour, and I'll hold the paper.
okay. Then I can only hold the stem, possibly. Yeah. All right. Man, coming from the Canary Hill, coming from the first wine,
Yeah.
the nose is a little down to me. Like I'm not getting
Yep.
much out of it.
I agree. It's still there though. I'm still getting some tart fruit, more towards the grapes, maybe a little more towards plum. Definitely not the red fruits that we were getting off the first wine. A little bit of leather too.
It's definitely a little muted to me. I'm struggling to pull fruit out of it. Definitely a little more earthy. Yeah, I don't know.
A little bit of rose petal too. I agree that it's a lighter nose, but it's there.
Well, I nailed the texture of this vintage.
Yeah.
Again, awesome texture.
Boy, that's in a good place. This one definitely has more tannic structure to it. Like I can feel it. It's like this firm frame underneath everything, but it's really balanced, and it kind of persists with real elegance. It's got a lot of poise to it, despite having a full structure, which is not something I see all the time, especially in something this young. I'm pretty happy with it.
And a lot less of the tart fruit than we experienced in the first one. Like this is definitely more on the dark cherry sort of aspect, right? Like more sort of traditional dark, what you would expect in a little bit of a riper vintage. There's a little bit of that going on in this wine. But I agree with Dan where he's like, where he said the structure is more balanced here. It is, and it's drinking very nicely right now.
And much like it doesn't pop out on the nose, I think the fruit doesn't really pop on the palate. It's a little more subdued right now. Yeah, the very ripe cherries is definitely the dominant fruit.
But again, another I think I said this right off the bat. The texture is just fantastic here, right? Like he's done a really good job with these in that regard. This is enjoyable to drink.
Yeah, a little bit of juicy raspberry in there. Boy, I think a good example of like if you're looking for a little bigger Pinot Noir, this delivers it, and it's also just kind of in a good place right now.
Yeah, I'd say this one's a little more what I would expect from the vintage, right? Like it's a little riper, a little darker fruited, a little heavier, and a little more structured. That said, drinking wonderfully. 8M plus, 90 points, 8M plus. I'll go with it. It's another wonderful wine. I like both of these wines for different reasons.
Yeah.
The first two. So delicious.
Yep, I'm gonna match you on that. Yeah, just a little bit.
We might have
I'm
some
gonna
really
say
boring scores.
I'm gonna say 89 even. I think I prefer this a little more, but that's just because you all know I like the brighter, crisper styles.
And Chaz likes the fruit.
Yeah,
So that's,
that's where we're at.
I like the drink. I can't help it. So it's part of who I am.
I gotta guess that one too. We're gonna.
What should we hide our guesses from now on, or
Yeah, we can talk about it if you want, I guess. But
I'm gonna guess Shea.
I'm going to tentatively guess Shea. I think.
Only because, well, yeah, tentatively. That's actually a good way to put it.
Yeah,
because
because
Shea, he definitely lets his ripeness get up a little more.
it's a ripe vineyard.
It's a ripe vineyard. Yep. So, all right. So this is number 3. More Ken Wright, 2012 Oregon Pinot.
Yep.
Color's wonderful.
Aromatics are great. Man,
There
this is
we
another
go.
one that's like, this is Oregon Pinot Noir, like jumping out of the nose, no question.
This has got that stinky earth, man, and wonderful red fruit.
A little bit of dry grass, a little bit of forest floor. I wouldn't say like the Oregon funk. It's not like rotting wood on the forest floor so much, but
a little more barnyardy, straw. That's
yeah, edging in that direction. A little more summer's day going on here. But nice combination, just like floral elements and kind of delicate fruit. I would not guess the wine is this young even. It's the nose is complex and integrated already.
Agree with mostly with that. Yeah, there's really good earthy components. There's some great red fruit going on. Whoa, big pucker in the mouth. You know, kind of a little bit of the sour fruit.
Yeah.
Definitely edging towards sour cherries initially. A little bit like maybe almost edging towards like a grapefruity sort of spike in the
I'm
late
totally
finish.
with you on that. Totally. Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit of even like the cherry pit, like you just chewed the edge of it, right? Not enough to really hurt your teeth, but again, a little touch of that, structural bitterness kind of creeping in with the fruit.
Yeah, yeah. And almost just a little bit of like, would you say there's a little apple-y component to this at all? Like, would you venture to go that direction?
I'm not going to
Even
disagree with you, but it's
Okay.
not what I would
Yeah, it's not
say
initially.
that,
Like,
but,
there's just the way that the initial like red fruit cherry thing goes into like the grapefruit thing. There's definitely something there. It's like a medley of fruit flavor that I know there's something else there. My brain's just not nailing it. Anyway, texture's not as full as the last two wines. This is definitely a little leaner on the palate, a little more acidic as it goes into the finish. Tannins are still kind of in a nice sort of semi-balanced, sort of under the fruit place, but the acid is definitely a little more here, at least in my opinion.
And to me, it still feels disjointed. Like you talk about that awkward teenager phase. I feel that this is where it's at. There's kind of some good stuff going on. I can see it developing well, but I don't feel like the parts are really meshed together at this point. And that's kind of distracting for me. That grapefruit, like again, a little more of that bitterness at the end that lingers. While the other stuff doesn't, I think over time there'll be a little more transition there. But for right now, it's not doing it so much for me. Still good flavors, and it's kind of a bummer because the nose was so great. I was like, right, it is. But 86 is what this is going to be for me.
I was going to do, man. I do like this. I do like, yeah, exactly like Dan said. I love the nose. It lets you down just a little bit on the palate, but will this come together? Could you venture to say even that? Maybe, but
I think it will improve. Yeah.
I'm going to go 87 points. I like it. I mean, I generally like the flavors here. I like the grapefruity aspects, but Dan's completely right as far as the integration. I'm going to go 87 points. I like it. I would drink it gladly. So, all right. And can you make a guess on that?
Forced to guess, I'd go with McCrone there, just because I hear stories about that aging better, and so when I say like
Dan and I are right on right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no, I wrote yeah. So let me write mine first, and then I'll ask you, and then we'll do the review, because that's how I did it this time.
So either this will be really awesome or really embarrassing when it all comes out.
That'll probably be fun. Either way, it's fun. Like, I love tasting wine like this. It's enjoyable.
It is, yeah.
Like, I mean...
And you all like it when we look like dummies on the internet, so this is a really good chance.
We do that a lot, though.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, that smells
way
delicious.
riper on the nose, too. Yeah, juice man. Juice man, yeah.
That tastes like, that smells like
Fruit.
grape Jolly Ranchers. Give me some.
Just like ripe cherries, and I'm smelling a little bit of that ruby red grapefruit in there.
To me, I would go towards like the darker cherries, like a stewed cherry or a pie
Yeah.
cherry. There's like a little bit of spice in there, but like it's definitely dark and
Dark
like
plums, maybe even a touch of
cobbler.
molasses. Yeah.
Blackberries, a little bit of like cooked
Oh,
blackberries.
totally. Yeah, delicious flavor.
This is smelling ripe, and this is smelling fruity, and
Yeah.
I like it. So.
Warm sight. Warm sight.
Well, so this is Shea.
Hey, on the nose, I'm gonna change. On the nose, I'm gonna be changing something, but we'll see.
Wow. Whoa. Bam.
This baby's ready to rock. Wow.
And see, the ripeness does not overload you like it would, like you would think from the nose. Like
True members of the anti-flavor wine elite would probably hate on this, but I edge in that direction. I still think this is fruity deliciousness.
This is fruity, but this has got great backing acidity and structure. Like the tannins here are in a great place. There's a lot of acid. Is there a lot of acid? I think there's a good amount, enough acid to keep everything in check. I wouldn't call this balanced. I wouldn't even call it all the way integrated yet, but the way everything comes across, super delicious because it's got all this ripeness and then acidity.
Man.
And then, yeah, I mean.
I wouldn't talk about there being a lot of acid. I think there's just enough, much less, and I'd be having a hard time with it, but I think it works. What really gets me excited is that there's this juicy fruit up front, these ripe blackberries and cherries we were talking about, good complexity, and then there's this like, it feels like acidity, but it's not getting that drying sensation where there's this like crisper fruit, this touch of clarity as you transition into the finish that kind of like tastes like green apple, or just like another apple where it kind of lightens up that dark fruit, where instead of being really
There's
heavy
a little lift to it.
and
Yeah.
thick on the finish, and that kind of complexity and that kind of evolution in a wine this young, always going to get me excited.
Yeah, this is pretty killer. Definitely my favorite of the 4 so far. For all the reasons that Dan just noted. I mean, Dan nailed it as far as the tasting note. And there's a lot of run up.
Floral, yeah.
This is, again, leading back to the good texture that we got in the first 2. Long finish. 91 points for me, and easily my favorite of the 4.
But yeah, we're gonna be tied together, I guess.
So let me write
sorry.
down what this is.
We're gonna be tied together on scores across the way here. I'm gonna go 91 as well. A lot of excitement, man, and to have that kind of complexity right out of the gate,
Right,
I'm
right.
changing my mind. Drink this one right now.
All you gotta do is say what you think it is, because I already wrote mine down.
I'm saying Guadalupe, but
That's exactly what I said.
well, we're down to only 2 left.
Yeah, but
Do I want to swap it out for the Shea or not? I don't know, man. That's hard.
But it gives off characteristics of that we know about Guadalupe, right? It's got good earthy tones on the nose, but a lot of ripeness. It's got a little bit of that barnyardy, definitely smells like
Okay.
Oregon sort of thing going on.
I'll give you that. Like, I don't associate it with that much ripeness, but I might. This might be an educational moment here for me.
We'll see. That's gonna be my
Yeah.
guess. So, but man, that's delicious wine.
Dribble a little on the table there.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's not on the carpet, right? That's what's important.
Yeah. Well, I spilled all over the carpet recently. Like completely dumped a full glass of wine on my white carpet.
Wow! Without any help from your friends.
Well,
at
you
least.
were.
That's,
I think it was after you left, and Matt and his
was it Robin or Allison or
Allison.
Yeah.
Allison was still here, and I like tipped over my couch and just dumped a whole glass of wine on the carpet. And then I was just so drunk, I was like, ugh. So anyway,
Anyway.
we'll give a shout out to Folex. This
Say-
stuff takes wine stains out of carpet. It's crazy.
Saves the day.
Like
All right.
like 3-week-old wine stains out of carpet. All right. Anyway, number 5.
Whoa! I'm getting way more candy on the nose here. This is kind of like if you made Pinot Noir into an ice cream flavor. I think it would kind of smell like this.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit of bubble gum, a little bit of like strawberries. There's dark cherry too. Like it's not all
Yeah.
bright fruits.
Like cherry, strawberry, Jolly Ranchers. A
Yeah.
little bit. Excuse me.
Definitely, yeah, definitely getting some candy right down the core of the nose here. Maybe a little bit of heat too.
That's strange. Yeah, it's largely red fruit. A little bit of candy characteristics going on, but very one-dimensional nose. Texturally a winner again.
Yeah, plenty of tannins that are put together well, kind of in a good place.
Palate-wise, very just one thing, right? Like red fruit.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Strawberry, perfectly ripe cherry, sort of in that thing. Not old, not young, not very deep. Just sort of like red fruit,
Yeah.
acid tannin.
Yep. A little bit of that grapefruit peel late, a little bit of acidity showing there. The fruits don't linger as long, but yeah, I'm getting like some kind of like strawberry flavors on the front and kind of like echoes of red fruit late.
Maybe just a little bit of heat, like you were talking about
Mhm.
too. And I think so. 4 of them were Dan's. 1 of them was mine. This one's a little warmer,
Okay.
right? You gotta say that, right? Like these 3 are drinking just below room temperature, and this one is at room temperature.
Yeah.
So it's probably a 5-degree disparity between this one. So maybe the alcohol's poking forward a little bit.
And without question, it's suffering following this one.
Totally,
You know, if
totally.
I was putting another wine in the lineup, I wouldn't want to be right behind that guy. That said, right, a little one-dimensional on the nose.
Yep.
A little, definitely just like less complex on the palate. And just more restrained. I'm going to have another sip. Just
And the finish is not terribly long either. Yeah, this one's definitely suffering a little bit coming after what I think is the Guadalupe. Man, yeah,
It got some higher tones. Yeah.
I mean, this is a struggle, right? Because this is delicious, right? Like, there's good things going on about it. It's got some good fruit, texturally another winner, but just simple, good Oregon Pinot. 87 points.
Yep.
Yeah. God,
we could do this with one guy tonight, I guess.
Sorry guys. So we already know what this is.
So that'll be the Nysa.
Yep.
And like part of me, that number 4, I kind of want to swap for a warmer vineyard, but I'm glad to hear you say you associate it with more ripeness.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things go.
We'll see.
Yeah, let's.
You gonna stick with your flavor? You're gonna stick with your notes?
I'm not gonna move anything. Are you gonna move anything around?
No.
All right. So all right, now it's time to do the reveal. Let's see the first one.
Okay, so definitely a little liner, a little leaner, a little more sour fruited. We both guessed Canary Hill.
Yep.
It's the Canary Hill
Hey,
2012.
all right. There we go. We got one right. That's not a complete disaster. This is the Old Amity.
Yeah.
Am I right? Yep, the Old Amity Hills. That's cool. Last year, I thought it was good to go right out of the gate. This year, I feel the same way.
Totally agree.
It's becoming kind of a go-to bottle for me. If I see that, like, and this is good, like Ken Wright gets some pretty good distribution too. This is definitely one of the bottles that if I was out somewhere, there's not a lot I know on the list, or like I'm looking for something from Oregon. If I see a bottle of that, I feel like that's a pretty reliable pick.
I completely agree. You should never be scared to buy the Canary Hill. I've had even really old ones back into the 90s,
really?
and they drank 94, 98,
Cool. I don't think those are
95.
those. Yeah.
They drink reliably. It's a solid bottle. So
Nice.
all right, number 2, awesome texture. This was a more dark fruited wine.
Yeah.
We both agree. I went 89 plus. You went 89, and we both guessed Shea. It is the Shea.
Oh, that's a good sign. I would say this is one where we could have gone wrong. We could have gone wrong. Yeah, Yamhill Carlton. Right. I don't know why I even looked. That's like one of the famous vineyards, one of the warmer sites. Still prestigious fruit. A lot of people really excited to work with it. And honestly, one that I don't like that often. So it was really cool to see this showing really well right now.
I thought it was drinking wonderfully.
Yeah.
I definitely like a little riper fruit. I think 2012 is going to provide a lot of love. I think I'm going to like a lot of wine in 2012. But this was drinking wonderfully. I think another one, like Canary Hill, ready to go right out of the gate. And depending on the style of wine you like, you'll really like this.
All right.
All right, number 3.
Another warm site.
Yep, another warm one. This one was kind of disjointed.
Yeah.
Kind of all over the place for us. We both guessed McCrone. It is the McCrone. That means we got it right.
Right on.
We got it right this year.
That's amazing. This is the first show we've done that on, I think. Yep.
My mind was blown. Sorry.
Getting things right. Things right. Semi-blind at least. That's pretty good.
The only reason I really wanted to pin this on McCrone was that I've had some great wine from them. I think back in 08, the McCrone vineyard was, like the 08 McCrone bottling was phenomenal. I almost cussed there. It was really phenomenal. Yeah, you don't have to believe me.
Yeah.
And then I had the 9 and the 10 and the 11. I just they all kind of came across a little disjointed, not ready to go right out of the gate, and that's kind of where my brain focused on with this.
Yeah. Shout out to our friend Tom Scarpinato. I know he loves this bottling.
Yep.
Always talks about how well it ages, so that kind of played into my mindset when I was like, it's not quite ready yet.
Right. So that means we got number 4
Yeah.
right. Guadalupe.
Smoking right now. That's Willamette Valley. That's outside of an AVA.
Is it?
Yep.
I thought this was a Dundee Hills bottling. Or am I failing? No, they have a tasting room in Dundee Hills.
I thought it was too. Yeah, but that's just my mistake.
Okay.
But boy, this is singing. And I've had good experiences with this in the past. It's in our lineup, and we've tasted it in previous years because I don't remember what year, but somewhere in the past I had a really good experience with it, and it's really justifying that place tonight.
Totally. Smoking hot.
Yeah, if you've been curious as to what Ken Wright's wines have been up to lately, I'd say really go get yourself a split of this. Taste through it, think about it. Man,
I don't think we said the price points. These are all in the low 20s for when you
to get a half
find
bottle?
splits. Yeah, between $20 and $27 a bottle, probably wherever you get from your retailer, and totally worth checking in on because you get to see a whole bunch of Oregon Pinots for a lot of money. Anyway,
Yeah, cool
last
stuff.
one.
So that's the Nysa.
Yep.
How it's got to be. That's a Dundee Hills vineyard.
Wow.
I would not have guessed that by any flavor indicators, but
Well,
maybe next year we'll do an AVA blind thing. That'd be fun.
I mean, I think you're right though. Coming right after such tough competition, and then maybe being just a little bit warmer, made it struggle a little bit. So we'll leave it at that. Oh,
Yeah.
There's our original timer.
But we already took the cut, so we don't
Yeah.
need to do it again.
Man, this was a rad show.
Yeah, fun show, and it didn't take us forever. I was worried
So
that this would be a 45-minute show. It's not.
This is the first time we've ever done this. Like we've
It's
ever
true.
You've nailed blind tastings before.
In my
In the
life.
past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not on camera though.
But this is one of the first, or I would say it's in the first 5 that I've gotten all right. So, or with help obviously, but yes.
Yeah, I know, single blind.
This feels, I didn't know what anyone
You're
were.
feeling like a boss right now.
No, I feel good.
That's awesome. Awesome. All
Just
right.
because some of the things you think about, and when you like experience wine, like some experience actually paid off this time. I don't know. Sorry.
There we go. We're learning something.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're learning
That
something.
leads right into a great question of the day.
Good.
Question. What's the last blind tasting you did, and what's the last blind tasting you nailed?
Nice.
David
Yeah.
Harris watches this. I already know the answer to this because he did
All
it
right.
at my house. All right.
And I like to hear stories about that. I'm trying
Blind
to
tastings
think.
are fun.
Yeah, I think I did a. I don't know where it was, but I think I did a Riesling tasting of like the 3 big Zeltinger vineyards, and I think I got the Zonnener, Schlossberg, and Himmelreich, and I think I got those, and I felt really good about that. But now I'm out of practice. I don't think I can do it again.
Well,
So we're gonna
that's
practice
gotta
this
make you
fall.
feel pretty good.
Oh, it's exciting.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
It's exciting. Yeah. So
Great show.
great show.
See you guys
Good
next time.
time. See you later. Bye.